You've overstayed your visa in the United States, but you're married to a U.S. citizen. What happens next? Well, your spouse will file for you for the green card. In this video, we're going to talk about all of the steps that are required to get your green card through your U.S. citizen spouse. The first thing that you're going to need to know is that you can do adjustment of status. Adjustment of status allows you to get your green card right here in the United States without needing to go back to a U.S. embassy for an interview. So this is a great thing. Also, you'll need to know that a visa is immediately available for you. Yes, you'll have a wait time for the processing of your application, but you're not in a family category that will take years for approval. Now, let's talk about what you're going to need to start this filing process. The first thing that you're going to need is the proper evidence. Immigration wants to know a lot of details about your marriage. They call it bona fide, which means that you're going to have to prove that you're in a genuine marriage. So immediately begin gathering utility bills, your lease, your mortgage statement if you guys have a mortgage together, your car insurance, health insurance, bank statements. All of those pieces of evidence will need to be compiled and submitted to immigration in your packet. Now, what I've described is not the full list. Immigration provides you with instructions in the Form I-130 and Form I-485 about what they're expecting you to submit with your case. After you've gathered all of those pieces of evidence, including, of course, passport photos, tax transcripts, and some other things, you'll want to sit down and take a look at all of the paperwork that immigration is now requiring you to fill out. If you choose to work with a lawyer, of course, the lawyer is going to fill out all of those forms for you and put your case together. But if you're doing this on your own, pay very close attention to the list of required forms that you're going to need to submit with your adjustment of status case. The first form that you're going to need to submit is the I-130 family petition, and that petition is signed by the petitioner, your U.S. citizen spouse. Friends, before you go today, download my free guide, Green Card Process for Spouses of U.S. Citizens. In it, you'll find 9 critical steps to this marriage green card process, including the case processing times. Click the link below to download and get your free guide today. The second form that you'll need to include is the Form I-485, which is the green card application signed by the immigrant who's applying for the green card. The third document that's needed is the work permit application, the Form I-765, also signed by the immigrant. The next form is the I-864 affidavit of support, which proves that your spouse is eligible to file for you. He or she has the finances to be able to support you for the next 10 years. That affidavit is completed and signed by the petitioner, U.S. citizen spouse. Next, you'll need the Form I-130A, which is the supplemental information for spouse beneficiary. This form collects additional information about the immigrant, and it is signed by the immigrant. The next required document is the I-693 medical examination report. That report will be filled out by a doctor that USCIS has already certified, so to speak, as an official doctor who could actually examine you and fill out that form. So you're going to have to go to USCIS's website, locate the doctor or the surgeon nearest you, and make an appointment, pay that fee to the surgeon, and get that report completed. Now, the last form that I think that you should fill out, because it's good to have, is advance parole, a travel document, just in case there's an emergency and you'll need to travel back home for that emergency. The government is given a 5-year advance parole through this adjustment of status process, and you'll need to fill out the Form I-131 in order to get the advance parole. Now, the application filing fee is $3,005 for all of those applications combined. With the filing fee, friends, USCIS allows you to submit your filing fee using money orders, check, or even a credit card payment online. But be very, very careful with how you approach this, because if you're going to submit to them a money order or a check, it has to be made out to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, not USCIS. If you submit it with USCIS on your money order or check, they're going to reject your case and send the entire thing back to you, including your fee. They also do not want you to mix payment types. So for instance, you cannot submit a money order and a check together in the packet. They will also reject your filing fee. Thirdly, yes, USCIS allows you to submit the form I-130 online and use a credit card for that process, but be very careful with splitting things up because you cannot file the form I-485 online quite yet. They just have not made that available. So the better thing to do is to put everything together and send it off to the government by mail. You could also use their credit card authorization form, fill out that form, and attach that form to your packet as a form of payment. But be careful with their whole credit card process because sometimes they do make mistakes with processing these credit card payments. Our preferred method, of course, is to send them a check. Others send money order. It all depends on who you're working with. After your case is properly filed or sent off to the government, you'll receive receipt notices, usually within 7 to 10 days. You'll receive receipt notices indicating that they've received your application and you've submitted to them the proper fees. They're going to process your case. Shortly after that, I would say maybe within 2 to 3 weeks, you'll receive a biometrics notice for the immigrant to go in on a certain day and time, do fingerprint, biometrics, so that the government can begin a background check on the immigrant. Once the immigrant goes in and does the biometrics, about a month to 3 months into the process, he or she will also receive their work permit and advance parole. One card, combo card for 5 years. After getting the work permit and advance parole, you might get an interview notice several months later for some people. If you get an interview notice, do not panic. Work with an attorney to prepare yourself for the interview and to appear for the interview. But many others are getting a waiver of the interview. The government these days, for many people, are just approving these cases without an interview. The timeline for this process that we've been seeing for many of our clients this year has been 4 months processing times for some people, 5 months, 8 months for others, 12 months. So I would say between 4 to 12 months is the normal processing times for the marriage adjustment of status case in most places. There are some jurisdictions where it will take longer than 12 months, so do not panic if your case has been pending for a long time. For instance, if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, or you're in Los Angeles, your case will be pending longer than 12 months for most of you. So guys, this is the full process. Now, after being successful with getting your green card, some of you will receive a 2-year green card, which means that at the time when USCIS approved your case, your marriage was younger than 2 years. But for others who have been married 2 years or longer, you will receive a 10-year green card. You will also be eligible for early naturalization at the 2.9-year mark. So that's very exciting for you. The biggest takeaway that I'd like you to get from today's video is that when you put your case together for immigration, be sure to include a good amount of evidence proving that you're in a bona fide or genuine marriage. You've got to submit everything all together in the very beginning. Do not break it out. Do not just send in the applications and expect to get a request for evidence down the road. When an RFE is issued in a case, it will inevitably slow it down. Guys, I hope you found this video helpful. Subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Also subscribe to our newsletter where you'll be able to get more free tips from us. Go to McBeanLaw.com/subscribe. Thanks so much. Comment below and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.